Hey everybody, it is TK Barlow here from the Barlow Group. I hope everyone is having a good evening. If you are live tonight, can you just drop us a message and let us know that you are here? I'm going to check on mine to make sure that we are live everywhere. Yep, we are. That was me talking. Okay, hold on one second, love. So, guys, it is me again, TK Barlow from the Barlow Group. And tonight we have Coach MESSHA. She is here and she is going to tell us what we need to do as far as building our business credit. Now, for me, I was in business, I don't know how long, and haven't did anything as far as my business credit because, we really didn't have anyone telling us you need, after you get your business, do this, and start establishing that business credit. I didn't have anybody telling me that. And so in my first business, I didn't know nothing about nothing, more or less about business credit, right? So just tell us, for a new business owner, or they have an idea in their head and they need to put together a 3-step process to start, establishing their business. When they get to that business credit part, what is the first thing they should do?
So the first thing that I would say that they need to do is first you got to make sure that foundation is just downright packed. First, if it's an idea that they have, the first recommendation, search the name.
Okay.
Don't pay. I tell everybody, do not pay these third party companies because the third party companies, a lot of the times, I find my clients coming to me with miscellaneous industry codes, no industry codes, or industry code that doesn't match, or a high end industry code. Now, that industry code determines what field you're in with your business. So,
Okay.
like consultants, retail, transportation is a high industry code. So
Okay.
a lot of people, I tell them with transportation, don't be expecting you to make get funding because that's a high industry code. And a lot of people try to stay away from it. People that are in, the banking industry, that's another high industry code. So I tell people to make sure you look at those things because like LegalZoom, different things like that, they'll create the business for you, but you still got to go back in and you pay extra fees. So I
Okay.
tell all of my clients the first 3 things: name search. Once you got the name search, and the name is available, so they can go to any Secretary of State and search that name before they even. From there, they need to get them a virtual business address. That's going
Okay.
to definitely be important for their structure. Do not use your home address. Like, who wants somebody Googling their business on the Secretary of State and your home address?
Right.
People are crazy and try to do different things. So I tell everybody, it becomes costly, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it, and it looks really, really good when you're applying for business credit. And I tell everybody once you get those things, after you get your LLC, that's when you need to go ahead and get your EIN. Please do not just go and get the EIN number before you even apply it with the Secretary of State, because it
Okay.
could be a hiccup by the time you go and get that name. What if somebody already grabbed that name while you were waiting? Because some people will go and get the virtual address and they're like, oh, each state, it depends on how much it's going to cost them. Like here in Atlanta, it's $100 for us to create the LLC, but
Right.
other states is $200 and $300, so they may not have that money right then and there. So they say, well, as a new business owner, it's understandable. So they have to do steps at a time. So that's when I tell them, like, don't go getting an EIN number before, and they like, oh, well, such and such said go. No, do not get an EIN number before your actual go and actually get it legalized through the Secretary of State. Wait till you get your LLC. You can still get the EIN number after that. Do not go and get it. I get a lot of clients. Again, later the name is taken, then it's a headache. And you know
Right.
how it is for getting in contact with the IRS. It's crazy.
It's
So I
hard.
it's very hard to get in contact. And then now, they're wanting you to mail in forms. And I'm
Mhm.
like, don't even give yourself that headache. Just go ahead and you just wait until you get your LLC, because you really, until you get the LLC, you really can't build any business credit. People like, well, such and such,
Right.
you really can't build it because it's not a legalized business until you get the documents from the Secretary of State.
Right. Okay. So, how important do you think business credit is when it comes to building and growing your business? Like, do you really need business credit? And
To me, it definitely is needed. I tell anybody, like, even in, if you're trying to get funding, if you're trying to, even like now with trying to get, like federal grants, organizational grants, there, I've seen on applications, they're asking for EIN numbers, they're asking you for DUNS numbers, they're asking you your scores. So I
yes.
definitely think that it's important to have it because you can leverage business credit. A lot of people go come in business within 2 years, they're not in business anymore because they've exhausted all of their funds. So
Right.
it's definitely, and I tell people, like, it's definitely important because it coincides. So you
Mhm.
want to have good business credit, but you also need to have good personal credit. And that's what a lot of people don't tell people. It's like, oh, let me help you build your business credit in 90 days with your EIN number. Yeah, maybe 5 years ago, but not 2023. You're not going to be doing that because it puts you, no funding company, no banking institute has ever not checked the personal guarantor, which would be you as the owner's credit score, even if it's a
Okay.
soft credit check. A lot of people don't realize that even when you open your bank account with your business, they're looking at your credit. So if you have poor credit, you won't be able to get a business bank account. And I've seen people like, oh, I went through, I think it's like North something bank, and it's
Yeah.
really not a real banking institute. So they really can't, like, it sets certain limitations for yourself. So I tell people, like, you got to make sure that your personal credit is together because you want to
Okay.
get the big cards and different things like that. And the only way to be able to do it is having good personal credit. So I tell people you can build business credit with little trade line accounts, but you want to make sure that you're doing it to the point where you're building yourself up. So you can still be working on your personal credit while you're building business credit. But at one point, once you get this tier 2 and 3, it's going to be definitely important to have your personal credit because you will be at a stagnated point where you're just like, I'm just there and the scores remain the same. And a lot of lending companies, finance companies,
Hmm.
they, and a lot of people read so much into like the reels and the TikToks and, oh,
Right.
you can get these grants, or oh, you can get these business
Yeah.
cards. It is not true. They're looking at your personal credit, and people tell me all the time, like, I get reels all day. Hey, MESSHA, can you look at X, Y, and Z? I look at it, I'm
Mhm.
like, all you have to do is Google it. It's right here. And do
Yeah.
you think that they're just asking you for personal guarantor information just because they like you? Like, no, they're looking at you, your credit as a whole. And I tell people,
Yes.
I was just looking at one through MasterCard, and a girl had posted a reel. And one of my clients reached out to me and she was like, MESHA, you never told us about this. I said, do you gross $1 million? She was like, no. She was like, how did you know? I was like, you'll know too. And I sent her the MasterCard link for the business. I said, what does it say? And she was like, oh my God. She was like, but she's posting it and it just went viral. I said, yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. You guys
Yeah.
are looking at numbers, not
Hmm.
knowledge. So you have to look at the numbers. And I tell all of my clients that, like, read before you're looking at the numbers. They're looking at, oh, it's 2.7K people commented and the reel just went viral, but
Hmm.
it's the correct information.
Right. Because I see a lot how people say, okay, yeah, use your business credit or your EIN and go buy a car. Like, I don't think that's
No,
so. When
it
you
was
got
a whole big.
bad credit, personal credit.
Listen, it's a whole. I was actually talking to a finance guy through Dodge, and me and him are like really like close. And I was telling him, we was talking about it, and he made it make sense. Like,
Yeah.
and a lot of people don't think about that. In the way me and him talked about it, he was like, a lot of people were coming to the dealerships like, oh, I want to get a car with my EIN. They run it, structure not right,
Mm.
No type of, and he said he was telling me, he was like, yeah, like 7 years ago you could walk in, and he was like, we were giving away cars, giving it. Ali Financial was one of the big finance companies that were doing it. They
Wow.
lost so much money, so now they want you to put up collateral. So
Mm-hmm.
they is no more, oh, I'm going to get a car and driving off the lot. Because think about it, if that was you, would you actually do that? You would be losing more money, because a lot of these people, they were getting, this is when like Dodge Chargers were big, because he works
Yeah.
for Dodge. He said everybody want to get scat packs. They'll get the cars. He said by the time they get the cars either wrecked or they
Mm.
never made a payment, and then you got to try to get it back. And then that's why they stopped it. Like, you last year, you heard everybody like, oh, I can get a car under my business, put it on Turo. Now if you get it through Ali Financial and they find out it's on Turo, they can run the VIN number to see if
Mm.
it's on Turo. Once they find out, they come and repo the car.
Wow.
So these are the things. And like this year, 2023, me and him were talking like last week. He was explaining to me, now they're requiring you to PG. No matter what finance company, they're requiring you. And a lot of people are telling people like, oh, I got my car with my EIN. They didn't. They
Mm-hmm.
PG'd it. And when they PG they're putting their name on the line, but it's just under the business. But they're personal guarantor in that car. And new businesses, trust me, you cannot do it. Trust me, I've had clients that have tried 6, 7, 8. They said, well, such and such told me to go through Varoom, and they'll accept me. They go and, sorry, they
Mm-hmm.
never get approved. And when they get the letter, you haven't been in business, your credit profile, we would need you to personal guarantor. And they can't personal guarantor because they have poor credit. So they're
Mm.
just trying to get it to grow it. But I tell all of my clients, like, do not get that hope up with that. Like, you
Right.
have to start working on your personal credit. It's just the
Right.
way that it is. Even with trying to get like commercial properties and stuff, like they're even getting to the point with asking to see the business owners personal information, so they want to
Mm-hmm.
see our credit too. And it's getting like that. Amazon used to do net 55, which you had 55 days to pay it.
Right.
People that were getting Airbnbs ruined that. So now they took that away. So they have the pay by invoice. You can still get that, but they just sent a letter out about that. They're doing away with that also. So
Oh
now
wow.
you have to go through American Express and PG
Mm-hmm.
for everything. All of the vendors are going to start getting like that.
Mm. Okay. So if I'm a business owner and I'm saying, okay, I need to, I have no business credit whatsoever. I have zero. I have done nothing to even build my business credit. So, what is the first thing? Who should I reach out to? Like, what companies do I apply to? Like, how do I go about doing it that way?
So if you want to, I tell anybody, if you want to do it first, I tell all of my clients, you have to get the knowledge on business credit, because business credit is different than personal credit. And I
Right.
think a lot of people, and you want to be utilizing accounts that's going to be beneficial, that you're going to use it. So as we know with our personal credit, if you go in and you actually get a credit card, it's going to report what, 30, 60 days from the time you get it. It's going to report
Mm-hmm.
as a new. But with business credit, it doesn't do that. So I tell people, use stuff that's going to be beneficial. So when you're starting to get business credit, everybody knows about Quill. Quill is
Yeah.
definitely good. You can get all of your household goods and different things like that from there. If you do a lot of shipping, I know a lot of people do, product based things. So if you need to ship different things, use Uline.
Right.
They have all of your shipping needs. But also they have gas cards for new business owners, like A to B is really
Mm-hmm.
good. And I have a direct contact, and it's always good to have a coach, or really a coach that can
Mm-hmm.
actually get you in front of these people. You can get Verizon with the cell, and they're doing, like, even with the cell phones now. It used to be easy to get a cell phone with the EIN, but everybody's trying to leverage that whole cell phone thing where they're getting the max number of phones and trying to resell them to get cash.
What?
Like, everybody's doing these crazy things. And I tell anybody, like, whoever you bank with, if you can't get approved for, a business credit card, get a business secure credit card. Those report. Like, for example, Bank of America, I was just telling one of my clients, they have like $1,000 secure card where, you give the $1,000, but it
Mm-hmm.
reports reports to all of it reports to Dun and Bradstreet and Experian. So I tell people like get those different things because they are going to be beneficial to help you build. If somebody see you with $1,000, it may not be a whole lot, but they're like, oh well, this is they have a credit card of $1,000. I probably would give them something versus somebody that just has no business credit at all. So
Right.
you
Okay.
want to start building it, but you want to build it based on accounts you're going to use. Don't
Right.
try to just build it, just getting all these accounts that people put like tier one accounts, business t-shirt club, crown office supplies. If you're not going to utilize it, don't get it because a lot of them will charge you $99 membership fees. The
Mm.
$99 reports one time. So it's only going to report one time. So if you never use that card again, that account again, it's never going to report. At least, and I tell my clients like at least with like cell phones, transfer your personal cell phone over to the business. That reports Verizon reports through Experian. So Experian is
Oh.
pulled all the time. So I tell people I did it myself. I transferred my personal cell phones because I had so many with my kids and everything. I transferred it over to my business.
Okay.
Got a way more of a savings and it was more lax than different things like that. So I tell people like utilize get gas cards. Everybody needs gas. So I tell people that all the time. Like we all use gas. Get gas cards.
Mhm.
But you gotta be able to, show okay and prove and the structure. A lot of these companies look at structure and a lot of people want to know. They're like, well, I got declined. I even heard people tell me they got declined for Quill. And then when I go and look at their profile, is because it's not fully structured the correct way. The business is
So,
not structured. So Quill is saying no because now they Google your business and then when they Google it, you could go to the Secretary of State and look up someone's business. When you go and
right.
look at it and then you Google the address, it's somebody's house. So you are considered more of a higher risk when they're going and Googling that address because you're considered a high risk. And a lot of people don't understand that. They're trying to figure out, well, why am I didn't getting declined for these things? Because the structure is not correct. You
Hmm.
don't have a business phone number. You're using your personal cell phone number. They Google that number. That comes back to your name. You don't have a business email. You're using a Gmail address. You don't have any website or landing page or anything telling us who you are. Would you take that bit?
Okay.
Would you buy something from them? I know I wouldn't if you don't, I don't even know you. Like, how do I know that I can contest that? And they know a lot of the companies know that if it's a serious business, websites cost money,
Right.
addresses cost money, emails cost money,
Hmm.
800 numbers cost money. Like you can get a business phone number for like 9.95 through Freedom Voice. You can get that. That's
Oh, okay.
9.95 and that gives you a 1-800 number. Like it's a cloud 1-800 number where your business, when somebody call and they Google it, all of your business information is correct.
Wow. Okay. So you said that a person's business should be set up properly. That structure needs to be a business structure, something solid, and
Right,
those things consist of having a professional email, not with the Gmail,
right. No Gmail, no
a
Gmail.
business phone number, a business address. They want to have a website that someone can go back if they look at it that it looks professional.
Right,
Okay, awesome. And you touched on Duns and Bradstreet.
right.
Now, what what step of the process does the Duns and Bradstreet come in? Like that's something that should be done first, right?
That will be done after you receive your Secretary of State
Okay.
information and your EIN number. You can go and obtain your Dun and Bradstreet number. And you just go to dnb.com. You go there, get it. Do not pay anybody because I get a lot of clients that come to me and was like, oh my God, somebody told me I got to pay $200. I'm like, it is free. Once you get on their
Hmm.
website, get your DUNS number. You click on it, put all of your information in, make sure your codes are right, all of that. They will ask you whatever address you're using. And one thing I want to remind everybody is to make sure all of your, if you change an address, if you already have a business and they have to go in and change their address with the Secretary of State, you need to contact the IRS, because it has to be changed with them. You're gonna, if you already have a Duns and Bradstreet number, you need to call them and change it. If you already started business credit, you need to contact Experian Business and Equifax Business, because
Okay.
if not, that can cause denials also. So that can
Mhm.
also cause denials also, because it'll be mismatched in information. So the Secretary of State may have your correct address, but then the EIN number, the IRS have a different address. Dun and Bradstreet have it. Experian, Equifax, everybody has a different address. So then they'll start thinking there's some fraudulent things going on, because why do you have
Mhm.
one address here and another address there? That will also get you declined also for different companies,
Mhm.
especially when you get to that funding stage. When you get the funding, they start looking at everything, bank statements, and you also want to contact your bank. So if you go and change it with the Secretary of State, you definitely need to go change it with your bank also.
Okay. All right. Now, how do someone check their business credit? Like maybe they have already started some stuff and they're not sure if they actually have a credit score or not. How would they check
So the way to check it is very popular. You would use nav, NAV.com.
it?
So you would go there, set up your profile with them. Now, the thing with them, the free nav account only shows you letters. So you won't know what your true score is. They
Mm-hmm.
have a 39.99 credit booster, which is a trade line that you can actually put on your business, that'll go on and be reporting on your business as a business trade line.
Oh, okay.
Once you unlock that, it'll show you your real scores. So with Dun and Bradstreet, it goes from 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
Most people want to have an 80 paydex score through Dun and Bradstreet.
Okay.
Experian and Equifax, with Experian, it's 0 to 100 also. So
Mm-hmm.
you want to stay in that 80, 85 range with them. And then you have your Equifax. So all
Mm-hmm.
of those scores will populate with them. Now, if you go and you buy it, if you go and you buy it through, Experian or Equifax, they'll charge you. Even Dun and Bradstreet has a really good program. And I have the program where, let's say I came to you for bookkeeping services. I
Mm-hmm.
could have, long as you are a business owner, have a legit business, I can send that off and it can report to Dun and Bradstreet every month. I think it's definitely unique because I used it with my photographer. I used it with a lot of
Really?
different things, and you can actually do it. It's like $199 a month, but it's definitely beneficial to, if you're trying to go and really leverage business credit, because it reports everything. If you're renting out space, those, long as they can validate it. Now you can't go talking about, hey, let me have my homegirl do this and she don't have a business. Like, they
Mm-hmm.
have to have a legit business also.
Yeah.
So it's definitely, I tell people those things are definitely beneficial. Definitely.
All right. I'm gonna look into that.
And even if you call Dun and Bradstreet, they'll give you all of the information. I got all of the information before I decided to sign up. It wasn't any. Some people like, oh my God, the lady did not pressure me. I told her, let me read over it, and I called her back. I called her back the
Yeah.
next day. I read it, and it's very beneficial, because everything that I use, that can be like, even like I have Canvas. You can even go and report that to them. Like every month, it can report. I
Really?
have T-Mobile for one of my businesses. T-Mobile does not report. So what I ended up having to do was submit the information. They called T-Mobile to validate that I had a business. AT&T, they say reports, does not report. When they went
Mm.
and validated it, and because AT&T doesn't, it reports Experian, but not Dun and Bradstreet. They validated it, so now that reports to my Dun and Bradstreet also. So I tell people, like, it may cost you. One thing I will say, if you're serious about your business, it's definitely going to cost you some money to invest
Right.
in it. But the ending result of it is amazing. Some people are like, oh my God, I don't want to pay this kind of money. This is crazy. Like, why are they charging people this kind of money? And I think it's beneficial. I really do. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's beneficial because you wanna get get to the next level. You don't want
Right.
to keep being stagnated. And it's beneficial to people because a year can come around fast for you being a business owner. And if you
Absolutely.
want it the correct way, like, me and you always talk about, like, you want to start in the beginning, bookkeeping, investing into somebody helping you to get your business to the, don't
Right.
wait until you get, year one and you made all this money and you walking around December looking like a chicken, like, oh my God, like, I don't know. And the only reason why I say that is because I was one of those people. Like,
Yeah.
with my business, I'm running around the first year looking like a chicken with my head cut off. Like, no.
Yeah, I totally understand. I was that way too. And it's like, okay, what do I do and what I need to do now? Like, what's step one? But
Right.
it's investing in yourself and investing in your business so that you can, a lot of people want to go into business and be an entrepreneur because they want freedom, they want time, they want to, have money to do whatever they want to do. But it takes a lot of investment for you to get to a space where where you will have that overflow of money where you can do what you want and you will have the extra time to do what you want to do within your time. But to get to that space, you have to invest. You have to invest in yourself and in your business. So that's what I've been saying, like not all year, but from the top of the year, like this today is the day to start your bookkeeping program. Like people are like shocked because they're looking at how much they're going to get back on their taxes. But it's like, okay, that's what you're going to get back. But the question is this: what did you do last year in your bookkeeping? Like,
Right.
did you keep your books last year? Because your taxes for entrepreneurs, your taxes are a reflection of how good or how bad you kept your books last year. So
Right.
like, you can't complain because your taxes are not where you want them to be if you didn't keep your books last year. Like, that's the problem. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we have to be able to invest in ourselves if we really want to go to the next level, and especially when it comes to building business credit, because a lot of entrepreneurs kind of like bootstrap. We start from the ground up from our pockets because we don't have, a lot of people don't have, the investments or people to like, give them loans and stuff like that. So they have to pay for their business, the building of their businesses from their pockets. But if we get that knowledge and that understanding and the resources, that's going to really help us build business credit. Then that's going to take some of the load off. If you have, a good business credit. So yes, this is good information. Now, how many accounts should an entrepreneur try to open, and how far apart should they wait? Because you don't want to open a lot of accounts all at one time, I'm guessing.
So business credit is different from personal credit. So
Okay.
it doesn't have like all of those. My one right there. It doesn't have all of those that, like with your personal credit. So you know how like you have all of these different things hidden your account, like, oh, I got this inquiry here, I got this
Yeah.
one here. It doesn't do that with business credit. I always tell people start out with at least 5 good ones that you're going to use that are going to report. So if you know you're going to use them, get those 5. If you know you're not going to use them, don't get them.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right, Miss Misha. Let's see here. If I had any more questions. Okay. So, what are some ways that we would be able to improve our business profile? Like, how do you, like, what if we've already started out and got a couple of things and we're just like you said earlier, you're kind of stagnant, your score is not really going anywhere. How would a business owner then be able to improve their profile?
So I would say the first thing is start getting accounts like Quill, Uline,
Mm-hmm.
separate your business cell phone from your personal cell phone.
Yeah.
Like, do not add another line on to your business. Like, oh, this is my, because I see a lot of people do that. They'll take their personal, add another personal line onto their personal cell phone. No, you need to separate it, because even when people call, I call people, my business shows as Future Millionaires Consulting when I call people. So you
Oh,
want to make sure that you separate those things. So I tell people, like, separate those things, because it's definitely going to be important. And if you don't separate those things, then that becomes a problem, because at the end of the day, if you don't have the two, that definitely becomes a problem. But a way to build it, get accounts like that. If you have good, I tell anybody, if you have good personal credit, get you, a Sparks Capital One card. Go to your local bank or credit union. Get cards through them, because those are cards that, if you get it, if you got, 700, 800, and you want to get American Express, the thing with um business cards, they're
mhm.
not going to report on your personal unless you default. So if you plan on not paying these people, don't go get it. If you get $20,000 and you planning on not getting it, that becomes a problem. So
Okay.
it's definitely important. But I tell people, if you got good personal credit, start leveraging it. Those are some things that you have to start doing. Start getting cards, getting
Mhm.
trade lines, and building on it. So you have to spend on it. So if you get Quill is a Nat 30 account. So they bill every 30 days. You need to pay the invoice before it's due. Don't try to wait until the day of or the day
Right.
after, because one of the things you don't want to have is late payments on business credit, or not making payments at all. It'll tarnish the whole business. And you can get a repair, but it's a headache. Like, who wants to go through that headache? So I
Right.
tell all of my clients, if you know, don't get it if you know you can't pay for it. Do not, if you get a $20,000 card, do not try to run it up 5 and 6 thousand, and in 30 days you can't pay for it. Because most cards, at the end of the statement date, that's when they want it to be paid. So you have to keep that in mind, and it comes
Okay.
with discipline. A lot of people are not disciplined. They'll get
Mhm.
those cars and like, oh my gosh, it's $20,000. Let me go ahead and run this up really quick. And
Right.
they
Burn
can't.
the hole.
Yeah, they like, let me just go and run it up really quick. And they can't, because you only get 30 days. It's not like our personal credit cards where you can pay that minimum balance. No, it's not a minimum balance, it's a full balance. And
Oh, okay.
they have accounts like they have a actual account. It's called Teal for. I had it when I first started out, and it's a prepaid card. And when I first got it, I put like 500. I think the minimum was 500, and like every month I would use like between like 250. I would just use like 250, 300. And in 30 days I had to pay it back, but it gave me discipline, because I started
Right.
using it like to pay, like, a little bill. I might order something for Quill, I'll use that and pay it, then I'll pay it right back off. But people have to keep in mind, if you got a $10,000 gas card, you can't use $10,000. And another thing I want to remind people, if you got a $20,000 card, the 20,000 is not going to report. The only
Mhm.
thing that's going to report is what you spent. So
Okay.
if you know that, if, let's say you had a card and it was 10,000 and you spent 5,000, 5,000 is what's going to report. The whole 10,000 will not report. And a good thing, credit utilization does not
Mhm.
matter in business credit. So even if you maxed it out and used 10,000, it's not going to drop the score like it would on your personal, because you don't.
Really?
Yeah, business credit is totally different. So that credit utilization does not matter. But if you on your personal, it definitely matters.
Right.
That's if you had $300, you maxed out 300, you will see like 20, 30 points gone. So that's what I tell people. It's very beneficial to have it. You can scale your business in many different ways and grow it really fast, but you got to be persistent about it, and you got to be serious about it. And it comes
Right.
with a lot of discipline. I tell anybody, if you had a bad month, don't go out there trying to do no crazy stuff. Or if you want to take it out your own money, then that's on you. But you got to think about those things. And I want to tell everybody, remember to separate personal
Mhm.
from business. And I had to do
Say
that.
it again.
Separate personal from business. And the reason
Yes.
why I'm telling everybody this, because I had that issue before. I actually went and tried to, and this is when I had a little scare with QuickBooks. Well, I used to use Intuit because I used to file my taxes like years ago. So I
Mhm.
didn't know the two were connected. So I already had an account. Well, when I set up my account with QuickBooks, they linked my personal checking account. So the
Oh,
whole time I banked with Bank of America, but my business account was with Bank of America. So one day I had woke up, I'm like, why is my money? I'm trying to think in my head, like, I didn't give these people this information. Like, why is this money here? And
yeah.
I called them and they like, oh no, it's going. I'm like, no, this money went here. And it was like a couple of $1,000s. Well, I went to go apply for actual I wanted to apply for a loan. They asked me for my last 6 months of bank statements. Well, one of those months led into 2 months where my money was going into my personal, one of my
Mm.
extra checking accounts. So they denied me and told me no. They said it wasn't the credit. And I was like, well, is it my credit? They were like, no, it's because you had money going into your personal account. And they all
Co-mingling.
looked at and they all looked at my business. So you want to keep that in mind. And that's what I tell people. Please keep that in mind and don't try to cheat yourself and like, oh, I don't let it go to your business account. Just let it go.
Mhm. Just let business be business, personal be personal, to keep everything on the up and up. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. No commingling. That's business 101, entrepreneur 101. No commingling.
Yes.
So yes. So you mentioned that you have a program. Is there any other programs that you want to tell people about?
Yes, so I have a mentorship program where I teach entrepreneurs, how to, level up their business, how to scale their business, how to market their business, what you should be looking for, who's really your target audience. And then I have a business credit mentorship program, and I'm actually getting ready to launch. I have everything, I just haven't launched it. I was thinking about launching it on Valentine's Day, where I'm going to have like different membership programs for people to learn business credit self-paced. Well, they'll have to turn in assignments. They get to talk to me. So mentorship, they talk to me every other week. So sometimes it's 3 times out the month, sometimes it's twice out the month because I want them to see, because with business credit, your reporting time is not like the first reporting may not happen. They have up to 90 days to report it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little different. So I coach them bi-weekly. So that week in between, they have assignments. Well, I'm creating a membership program where they're learning business credit, but it's more self-paced. So you don't have to pay the high dollar mentorship. You still have the option to learn everything. And I teach you like different forms and different things, how to track and keep up with your business credit. I think that that's another thing that a lot of people have issues with, is how to keep up. I talk to people all the time. I'm like, okay, let's apply, because when I mentor, we apply for stuff together. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, let's go ahead and apply for this. And they're like scrambling through looking for papers.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if you have these documents, like all of my documents are like actually on my laptop. So I can click on it. If I got a new account, if I just paid one, I put it on there. So I teach you all of those different things, but also with business credit, you have tiers 1 through 4. So tier 1 is the basic accounts, but when you get to 4, you're talking about banking, funding, and different companies. But also, it's like you say, I tell anybody, if you're trying to go into the funding part of it, you definitely need a bookkeeper, because they're definitely going to ask you these things. They're going to ask you for so much stuff. It's going to be like, and a lot of people like, well, I seen this company on TV and they said it was no credit check. No, no, don't believe it. They're doing
Right.
a soft pull. And then they start asking for expenses and stuff too. Like, okay, send us this, and that. If you got an account, information will be easy to get. If you got to get it, you got to put it on a spreadsheet, figure out where it's at, find a receipt.
Mm.
It's just too much. So I
Right.
tell people that, and I also offer a grant. Of course, I'm no longer doing the writing, I'm teaching it, because I think that's one of our problems with as entrepreneurs. We don't want to learn it. We just want somebody to do it. And then if it's not done right, or you think the person didn't do it, you want to hold somebody else accountable. It's no more
Mm.
holding MESSHA accountable because you just learned it. And then I have a virtual assistant company where, help people to get, social media managers. Maybe you need somebody to do your admin work. I have a whole team of 6 of them, and it has helped me dramatically. I'm telling you, TK, I was that person. All those like nice flyers and stuff like that I have going on, I write my own content. But
Really?
yeah, I write my own content, but they actually do all my graphic designs. I used to have a person that was doing my website and it was killing me in price. It was killing me in cost. The maintenance fees and getting them to, if you are on when you're an entrepreneur, so many things and ideas that cross your mind. I was
Right.
like, why not? And ever since I've had two of my VAs, this is their second year with me, like their full second year with me. And they actually, we was talking about it today, and they've helped me, like they structure my emails, like my email, they put all my emails, like important stuff, things I need. They get my calendar together because I'll be like,
Really?
they do everything, everything.
Mm.
So, and I tell people those are things that you need. If you know you're not good with social media, they like in the morning, I might do a morning posting, but after that, they'll send me over. Like tonight, I got to do some content because I was like doing some other stuff. And it's just like I'm telling you, it took a burden off of me because I'm gonna tell you, I was a procrastinator, and I tell anybody this, like you need somebody. Like I have one that does all the admin work, anything that I need, they do everything. So I tell people like get you a virtual assistant to assist you if you're one that's all over the place. Like get you somebody that assist, they take my calls, they schedule my calls, they don't let me forget anything. Like they'll be like, no, Misha, you can't do this day because this is what you have. It'll definitely, they answer my calls during the day, they get the tasks done, they do content. If you hard with doing your content, websites, these are the things that you need. And I had to invest in it. And I even picked up a second job because I knew that's what I needed.
Right, right. Okay, I love it. So, how do people contact you? Like, how do they get to you?
So they can get to me at www.futuremillionairesconsultant.com, or they get, if they're on Facebook, they can go to FM Consultant LLC, or they can go to Instagram. We're on there, FM Consultant LLC, Future Millionaires Consultant on TikTok, YouTube, FM Consultant. Also, I have shorts. If anybody need to watch it, I make reels with different valuable information for the business owners.
Okay, all right. Well, guys, you heard it here. Go out there and start building your business credit. Coach MESSHA can be found. If you need help, if you need support, please reach out to her. And she has given you the basic steps now, so you have no excuses, right? So if you need anything else, you can definitely reach out to her. You can reach out to me as well if you need any kind of tax or bookkeeping support. We're always available to help you build and to help you level up. So until next time, cheers to your success.